Uh, First off, let me just talk about how I met her. We met at a 4th of July tea party. Um, she was hosting it. I arrived there a little bit late because parking was, yeah. And so I got up there and a fellow tea party participant told me to go up there and say a few words, and I did so. And as impressed as she um, saw me speaking, she asked me to join her campaign, and I with excitement said, "Of course I will." And since then, me and Diane, we've been working close with each other. If there's like any youth events that she think it would be great for me to attend, I would attend them if I could. And I asked her today if she could come out here to El Camino College, talk with the El Camino College Republicans and the California College Republicans, and she did. So I'm pleased to announce Diane Lenning, who, with your help, will become the next California State Superintendent of Public Infrastructure. So, Ms. Diane.
And thirdly, we need to bring mismanaged districts into compliance. What that means usually is budgetary compliance, because there are some large districts that are really too large to manage them well. And they need to be broken down into smaller, mid-sized districts to provide more local control to the local community around those schools, and so that they can have good quality interaction with parents, businesses, and community neighbors, so that everyone can be a stakeholder in your local community school. And statistics do bear out that the mid-sized districts have greater success among students than the large, more unruly districts that tend to lose control of what happens with their students' classroom environment and their ability to pass. So it's important that we remember those things. Now also, we need to make sure that every parent and every student is a stakeholder that agrees to the commitment to participate and engage in a rigorous curriculum and learning environment. Like I used to say to my students, I can't pour education into your head. You need to talk to me. You need to work with me. You need to engage in the program that we have prepared and planned for you. Then you will succeed. No matter what your deficits, if you've missed a year or two at school, you can make it up. I've seen many students on the high school level jump 3 to 6 grade levels in reading in 1 year, if they'll focus, for instance, on phonics and relearning some of those beginning mechanisms or processes that they might not have learned or skipped. So don't give up. Hang in there and say, I'm going to graduate because I deserve a good quality education as a young person in California. And I want you to know that I stand with you and I support each one of you in reaching that goal, whatever it be, to reach your American dream. So with that, I'm going to open it up to questions. If there's anyone who has a question, I'd be willing and happy to answer any questions. Yes?
There's a lot of good teachers out here in the state of California and within Los Angeles County, but there's also some teachers that for some reason they still have their jobs because of teachers' unions. How are you, as superintendent of public infrastructure, going to deal with the teachers who should not be having any involvement with children whatsoever?
Well, some do believe, and some studies have indicated the possibility that lower performing schools might have teachers who are not as motivated as other higher performing districts, and that's a possibility. And Peter's Procedures is one of those strategies we plan to use to empower teachers who have maybe lost interest or lost hope, that they have the ability perhaps to meet this need, and maybe they've started doing other things in hope to interest students. But it's very important that we focus on curriculum and not get sidetracked on other issues and get so far from curriculum that you're doing things just to problems. If you watch the video on tape at petersprocedures.com, you can see in a 2-week period of time how the teacher becomes empowered to successfully teach this mismanaged class that did not follow classroom etiquette or proper learning environment. So it's not necessarily that teachers maybe have given up or they don't want to teach. Maybe they just haven't learned the proper skills to be successful with at-risk students. And I believe when we have a cadre of professional development teachers who go around to the lower performing districts and help those teachers, we're going to address a big part of that issue. I really believe that's going to be an important part. Did you have a question?
In regards to instructors, teachers who may no longer be motivated, do you have any plans for like disciplinary action for those instructors, for those teachers, whether it's K through 12 or in the community colleges? Also, I've noticed that a lot of the motivation comes from the administration that the teachers are working under. So will you be addressing the administration as well as the students and teachers?
There is a definite correlation between successful schools and successful principals and administrators, because they're an important part. They're stakeholders in providing a quality education too. And I know teachers have often been attacked in the past as if we just had higher quality teachers, it would improve everything. But that doesn't always make it, who have been retiring. And now, as more and more curriculum focused people become administrators, I think that will help in bring up the focus of academics and the scores of students and provide better classrooms. And additionally, we had in our district a peer review where we had a worked out and pre-arranged form that teachers would go in without any fear of reprisal or turning it into anybody, where you just do a peer review of your fellow teacher and then give that to them as feedback as to what they're doing. And we had to give suggestions for improvement, what things we thought might help them to teach better. I think that's a good place to start. Teachers need more collaboration time in order to help with pacing for their curriculum, for their subject area in high school, and for the grade level and in lower grades. I know teachers do not seem to have enough time to collaborate and to encourage each other. And so professional development days should have a certain amount of time where teachers of the same subject area or department or grade level can meet together and plan. I know we were so over-impacted, I often stayed an hour or two later than I was required in order to get the work done. And most teachers have to do that if they're really going to get all their work done. So, but it's a matter of focusing together on a plan that works together. Another thing that focused our departments was to have pacing chart where we would, the district led in this. We had very good district personnel who started with one subject area the first year, English, and then paced out the curriculum for all of the English teachers throughout the district. This greatly helps in a mobile population where students often move from one class to another or one city to another in the same district or one state to another. So I believe as we have more uniformity and consistency in what our curriculum is, that's also going to prevent some discipline problems. Years ago, I cannot tell you how many times I would have new students come in and they would say, well, we just studied that last quarter in so-and-so's class. Or we had that last year back in another state. And so there needs to be more consistency.